Hi everyone. Okay, so we are going to talk about ZC Buildout and how you can work with it. So who am I? I'm pretty new to Plone. I've been working in Plone for about 1 year now, but I don't really know Plone, so I work on on stuff around Plone. I'm used to Zope though. I used to work at Nuxeo, and we used to work on this tool called CPS, which is pretty similar to Plone, and so I know Zope. And I work at IngénieWeb. It's a Plone company in Paris, and we have over 20 developers. So working with ZC Buildout was a big matter over there. And I'm a Python fan, so I wrote some book about Python, and even one in English, so people can read it and they don't have my accent, so it's pretty convenient. And I'm involved in Plone.org migration with Alex Clark, that is here, and on Plone Software Center, and even ZC Buildout. Okay. I wrote that book, and there is a special promotion during the Plone conference. If you buy one book, I'll give you a hug. So, and if you bought it, I can give you a hug. Okay, I don't know if you guys, if you know the story about me being here in Washington, D.C. I was broken, so my travel, I couldn't afford the plane ticket, so my travel was sponsored by the Plone community. I just blogged about it, and I say, okay, please give me some money. I want $1,000, and I had it in 2 days. So that's the people that helped me for that fundraising. So I want you to thank them. I mean, the Plone community rocks. That's unbelievable. Okay, so how many of you went to Clinton talk this morning about ZC Buildout? All right. So that was a great talk. You should grab his slides and ask questions if you need on the distutil mailing list. If you need more detail on ZC Buildout. My talk will not be about great details on ZC Buildout. I'll focus on other matters. So if you need more technical material with ZC Buildout, just ask Clayton and ask the people at the distutil mailing list. Okay, so basically the first part will focus on how you can work with packages, with Python packages, and how all the stuff works. The second part will be about how you can work with ZC Buildout, and the last part will be about the application life cycle and how you can work things out. Okay, distutils. So who knows precisely what it is? Raise your hand, please. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, so distutils is part of the standard library in Python, and it's used for years now to distribute package. So basically, you have this setup.py file you can put in your package, and where you define some metadata. You say, okay, the package is named foo, the version is 1.6, here is the description of the package, and distutils is able from there to build and distribute your package through commands. So basically, you write Python setup.py and a comment, and it runs something. Command. For instance, you can push a package to the sheet shop, which is the Python package index at python.org, and you can do it with distutils by using the register and the upload comment. So here's a small slideshow, screencast, sorry. So I have this setup.py file where I have written some metadata. So I call Python setup.py register to register the package to the Python index. As this to make a source distribution, and upload to just upload it. Okay, so now I have a package at PyPy. Somewhere. The internet is really fast.
You're relying on the internet?
No. Okay, so that's my package. So I was able to send it to Python really to python.org really simple, in a simple way. All right, so dist-utils is the Python standard. Everyone uses it, especially in Plone. Any piece of code out there is now dist-util. So we use it to work with product that was not distributed with dist-utils. For instance, back in the old days in Plones, you would just grab your product, make a tarball, and ask people to put this tarball in their ZOP instance. But this time is gone. So that's the good part. That's what dist-util brought to us in the Plone community. That's really great. But the bad part is that this package is broken. It's under-tested. It has Python 2.1 style code, and it doesn't evolve at all. Core developer hates it. I wrote some patch for dist-utils, and it took about 9 months to make them happen in Python. And some core developer just told me, well, we don't care about this part of Python. We have fun stuff to do in some other part of Python. So that's wrong. Plus, OS packagers, they just hate dist-utils. For example, if they are trying to integrate a Python extension in Debian, they have to be really smart and involved in that process, because when you are a Python developer, you don't really care about that kind of problems. For instance, if your package has a configuration file, where does it live? Inside your package? Okay, that's the way to go for a Python developer, but a Debian guy will tell you, no, I want it in /etc, right? So we don't have that in dist-utils. There is no way to define such mechanism in dist-utils. But there is hope, and there is a lot of discussion at this time in the mailing list to see how we could improve all of that. But we have setup tools now. So this package correct some issues we had with dist-utils. So basically it's a package on the top of dist-utils, and the limit between setup tools and dist-util code is really fuzzy. But well, when you need to debug it, it's hard to know where things belong. Anyway, it brought stuff for us. For example, you have a simple dependency management system, so you can say, okay, my package use this other package. And you have this namespaced package feature that allows you to split your code in several packages. So we'll see later that Zop did that. And you have egg distribution. We were going to see what it is. And it provides a script called easy install. So how you use it? You have a new command which is called bdist-egg that is used to create one single egg file. So basically it's a regular binary distribution that creates a file and that you can use and install in your Python installation. So the quote of Philip about eggs is that eggs are to Python as jars are to Java. But there is no point to use eggs at this time when you write some extension and package for your Plone application. The only reason I can see to distribute an egg file is to support adding plugins to application that use them. But it doesn't make sense otherwise. If you want to write a package and to distribute a Python package for a Plone application or a Zop application, just make a source distribution. Because an egg file is marked with the Python version, the platform version, and it's not really convenient. So just use the sdist command and you'll be okay. Because setup tools will eventually, it grabs, it puts in source distribution the extra metadata for the dependency matters and stuff like that. Yeah, well, SDS is a source distribution, And it's exactly like the regular distutils sdist, but if you use setup tools, you will have a few extra metadata that defines stuff like dependencies, if you define dependencies. So don't push binary eggs in PyPy. It doesn't make sense. Push source distribution. On the other hand, some people find the egg distribution interesting because you can enforce one Python version and one system. So maybe in some particular use case you could use it. But in the Plone world, don't use it. Here is a small demo. Okay, so I had my distributed powered package, and now I'm going to make it use setup tools. So it's just, you just change the import. And now I'm going to tell it that it requires two other packages to be installed in my Python, which are rwfss and rwrecipefss. Yes?
Does it basically mean that distutils are deprecated in favor of setup tools?
I have a slide about that right after, yes. Yes, it's very fuzzy. Okay, so I build it. And I have here, you see, setup tools creates a file where it tells in my package distribution that it uses two other packages. So don't do eggs. You have everything people need in a source distribution. Okay, and last, setup tools provide easy install. So easy install, it acts a bit like apt or yum or stuff like that. So basically you say, okay, easy install, space, any package, and it will try to locate it in PyPy and grab it and install it. It's great to promote your work. You just tell people, okay, you can install my package, install my package, and that's it. So people love that. It doesn't add much value as a developer, but to do a bit of marketing around your package is great. And it works with any package. Even if your package is not a setup tool-based package, you can easily install it, so it's pretty cool. And Jan wrote another tool called pinstall. I think it's the same goal. I have to look at it. I don't know all the differences. All right. All right. All right. Well, okay. Okay.
So, my question is that when we say eggs, we mean source distributions. So an egg simply means a zipped source distribution?
Yeah, it's just a zip file. You can use straightforward that contains everything, but you don't need to use that. You can still call it an egg, but it's a source distribution. So setup tool. All right, use setup tools. It's the standard stuff in the Plone community. Everyone uses it. I mean, if you use, how many people here use Zopscale? Can you? Okay, so you are using setup tools, so don't worry about it. But setup tools is broken because it inherits from distutil problems. I mean, I don't know the whole story, but Philip started setup tools, and the plan was to make setup tools go inside Python at some point. And I remember I've seen some mail about it, and it was like, okay, it's going to make it for 2.5, and it was postponed for 2.6, and it will never get in Plone, in Python, sorry, I think, because Philip Eby claims that this tool is doomed, and he's trying to think about other ways to package application in Python. So I don't know what's going to happen in this part of Python. It's pretty fuzzy. I mean, a lot of people are talking at this time to know what's going to happen next, but we don't know. So that's my plan. Okay, here is how I see it. We all got to be involved at some point to build the new distillers in Python. And the idea is that we need Philippe, Jan, the guys from Repose, the guys from TurboGears, the guys from Pylon, some Debian packagers, some BSD packager. I didn't put a window packager, but I don't know how it works. So, and some guys from Dope3 and us. I mean, we are the guy that builds big application in Python. I mean, when you talk to some core Python developer, they don't do that. So they need feedback from people that build big application and release them, because we having some troubles with those tools, and we need to figure out a better way to distribute application, and we have things to say about it. So I think the best plan would be to have all these people work in one tool and write some PEPs, and at some point push those PEPs and see if it can go to Python at some point, and then we can reach the heaven. Okay. Okay, so it's hard to know, but it's community driven, and we have a sprint about this weekend. So please, if you want to join. Okay. All right.
You didn't mention the Django guys.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Guido has coded in Django, so
Yeah.
they've been resistant. I think if you can convince them.
What's Django? It's one Python package, right?
Yeah, but they're resistant.
Yeah.
Convince them, then that's a big battle.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll change that slide. Okay, but don't worry about all that, because that's low-level matter, and when you work with Plone, it's okay. I mean, we will eventually make it through whatever happens in the low level. So in Plone, it's okay. But we still have some problems right now with packaging. How many people in this room have been in trouble with build-out being stuck because PyPy or some other sources were broken? Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. It's PyPy. It's a single port of failure. If it's down, you are basically screwed. I mean, you can have a cache, you can have a mirror and some stuff like that. But if your friend push a package in PyPy and tell you, okay, you can use it now, and PyPy goes down, you're screwed. The second problem I see is about privacy. When I create this really cool proprietary, okay, thanks. Non-open source package, you don't want it on PyPy, right? I mean, it doesn't make sense. So some packages need some privacy. You can't rely on PyPy for customer application. And the third problem I can see is that Plone.org has this Plone Software Center in /products that has all the packages. How many people in this room have packages, Plone packages that you push guys in PyPy? Please raise your hand. Okay. Do you maintain your Plone.org page for that package? Sometimes? Yeah. You have to click, wait a bit, click, wait a bit. Oh no, it's not the right place. Let's go back and click, wait a bit. You push your package, and okay. Well, with PyPy, you just have to run one command and it goes over there. So that's a problem. Plone.org products it's just dying. No one uses it at this time to work with Plone. So that's the three problems with packaging today. But we have solutions. For PyPy, we can make PyPy mirrors, and we'll see how. For privacy, we can run our own private PyPy. And for Plone.org products, Alex and I worked on it, so it could be PyPy compatible. So basically, you will be able to send package to Plone.org exactly like how you do it with PyPy. So that's going to be really cool. Okay, so the proxy stuff. Okay, Andreas Jung is working on some mirroring matters, but basically it's rsync based. He does a copy of the whole PyPy. So it's 5 gigas. It's not that big, but it means that he has to maintain in his script. He has to run it all the time to make sure he has the latest version of all the packages. Maybe at some point, if we could create in PyPy some kind of ping mechanism to tell all the mirrors that some packages were uploaded, we could have smart mirrors that are always up to date, but we didn't reach that point yet. So at EnginiWeb, we have another way to do mirroring with PyPy. We use a proxy that is shown in this really cool schema, where all our tools that need package calls, and they don't call PyPy anymore. So basically, egg proxy, every time you ask it a package, if it has it, it gives it to you, and if it doesn't, it grabs it at PyPy or at some other place and put it in the local directory. So basically, if you work on Zope and Plone matters, it will grab all the package you need to work with Zope and Plone, and it won't grab Django, it won't grab Django Pony package or stuff like that, because you don't need it to run your Plone application. You don't need 5 giga of X to run your application. That's the idea. So here's a small demo. So I easy install collective egg proxy. And I have an egg proxy run, which is a small twisted application. And then I'm telling easy install that my index is not at PyPy anymore, but here on my computer. And I'm going to install collective buildbot, which is a great tool you should install. And it's going to grab all kinds of package at PyPy through the proxy. And then I have them here on my, I'm building my mirror here. Okay, so basically, after a while, you feed your mirrors with all the package you really need. And it's lighter, it's faster, and I think it's a better approach than a full mirroring system. Yes?
That only means that you're screwed once, but you still can get screwed, because if that's not in yet and the PyPy is down, so can you actually just take a snapshot of that and then just upload that to your deployment server, and then you know you will have all the eggs that you have?
Yeah, actually, after you have run it once, and you want, for example, to work with that, you can grab it and put it anywhere. So that's not a problem. And the tool collects the front page of PyPy. So you have all the version here as links of collective buildbot. So if you want the 0.20 version, it's not yet in the proxy, but it knows it exists at PyPy, and it will eventually grab it at PyPy. So, but yeah, it's still a mirror. I mean, if PyPy is screwed and your mirror is empty, you're screwed. Yeah, right. Okay, so ZC build-out. If you want to use that small proxy, you just change the index link, and all calls go through the proxy, and the mirror is filled on demand. So that's what we use at my work to prevent any problem with PyPy. And it's faster because it's on our intranet, and everyone shares this mirror, so it's pretty cool. And yes?
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh.
3 or 4 days ago, I tried running build out, and it kept giving me an error because it was trying to find handshake.de. Did anyone else experience that?
How you say handshake?
It was something.
Huh.
Advanced query
something, and that server was down,
That's
and
what it was
yeah,
down.
all the build outs were failing.
Yeah.
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 Well, that wasn't a problem with PyPy, was it? PyPy wasn't down,
No.
was it?
No, no, no.
What's happening is that easy install, it goes to the PyPy page, and then it just like looks around at all the links on the PyPy page. So you have a download URL that points off-site, you have a homepage URL. It'll just go and look at all those other places, and if one of those other places is down, it can sometimes give you an error despite the fact that there was nothing interesting at that location anyways. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can put extra links in your package to ask easy install to visit all the places, and that's a lot of trouble. But
A collective egg proxy would find that egg and store it, assuming it found it, it would store it. Software. Is that right?
no, you can fork that process if you provide your own links. And it's a bad practice to use to add links in your setup.py file. Don't do that because it can break things. Okay. All right. So the second problem we had, it was about running your own private PyPy. Okay. So basically, you can just push eggs, build eggs, and put them in a folder in your intranet and point it in build-out. That's okay. But you can do better. You can use Plone Software Center, which is great. Here's a demo. Okay, so I have a Plone. I'm installing a Plone, and I will show you how you can set up in 5 minutes with a really cool application in your intranet to manage your eggs, to let people in your intranet comment your package, and use Plone. I mean, so in my company, we have a Plone Software Center for all our private eggs, and that's where we share stuff and people can interact, and we use all the feature of Plone. Yeah, yeah. You won't have to do it anymore. Without hands. Okay, so I'm adding here a new catalog, a product catalog. Okay, I just call it catalog. It grabs the Trove classifier at PyPy, so you can use them. And here, when I click here, it will present the packages using the PyPy Trove classification if you put some of them in your metadata. And it has pluggable storage. You can store your eggs in the file system as blobs and in archetype in Plone directly. Okay, so I have my PyPy. Now, the problem is, right now with Python, you can have this small PyPy-RC file where you define the username and the password. Do you know about this file? Who knows about this file? All right. So basically, if you want to push an egg to PyPy, you have to define in your home a PyPy-RC file where you say, okay, my username is Tarek, my password is blah, blah, blah. And from there, you can push eggs over there. Every time you use the register and the upload command, it will read this file and push and uses it to do authentication at PyPy. But now the problem is, if you have your private PyPy center, the software center, and you have the cheese shop, how you can do to have several accounts. So that's collective.dist. So basically, collective.dist is a backport of the patch I have pushed in Python. So you have in Python 2.6 in the register and upload commands a new PyPy-RC file that will let you define several PyPy server and several accounts. So until ZOP is compatible with Python 2.6, you can use collective dist to use such files. So basically, what you can do is define where you want to push your egg with the -r option. I want to push it on plon.org, I want to push it on my company, and if you don't put it, it will push it on PyPy. So this is how this file look. This is the Python 2.6 file. And you can use this kind of file now if you install collective.dist. So basically, I define 3 PyPy server, PyPy, plon.org, and my company server. For each one of them, I have a username, a password, and a repository, the link to the PyPy server. And the default is PyPy. Okay, let's try it. Okay, easy install. Collective.dist. Yeah, we're gonna talk it right after. Plon.org is going to have that. So here I define a private PyPy, username admin, password admin, and the PyPy, the Plon Software Center I created. I link it here. I create a cool.stuff package with a few info. And now, with the mregister and the mupload command, I'm able to push it to my private software center because I specify it here. So here we go, cool.stuff over there. And if I want to push cool.stuff on Python, PyPy index, I can do it the same way. Yeah, after I'll show that. And that will help you to push a package to your private PyPy center or to the Sys shop without extra work. And Plon Software Center looks great. You wanna use it in your company. Okay, and Plon Software Center creates an index page like PyPy, and it has a links page where all the downloadable package are displayed. So it means in build-out, you can use your Plon Software Center you installed locally in the index variable or in the links variable, either one of them. Okay, are there any questions? Yes? Can you speak louder? All right. You can have it with authentication. I don't think you can use HTTPS at this time, but this is a problem with setup tools and these tutorials. But you can protect it. You can password protect it, and we will see how. All right. All right, it follows the same protocol than the Sys shop. So basically you have an index page of all packages and you can browse them. So it's easy install, can use Plon Software Center. And you have a links page that just provides you with all the published eggs and tarbles and stuff from the Plon Software Center. And this is convenient if you want just to add this as a find links source in your build out. All right. Right now it uses the Plon Software Center policy, which is you will get them in those indexed page only if the package was published. So, but it's Plon, so you can play with that. Any other question?
SDIS doesn't create a tarball, does it?
It does. SDIS creates a tarball.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, and that's the best archive you want. All right. And the third problem was about plon.org. So we have this new Plon Software Center, and we want it at plon.org. And the guys that try to migrate plon.org, I mean, they've been slow. It's been months, and everyone is like, why they don't push plon.org to plon 3? I mean, that's him, and that's me. It's because we suck. Because it. Yeah, someone is forking, I think. No, it's hard. It's really hard because there is a lot of problem going on if you want to migrate properly plon.org, especially with this new stuff. Every time I'm migrating a package, I have to call PyPy through XML RPC to make sure the author email is the same in both places, because otherwise the package might get hijacked on plon.org. I don't want a package on plon.org that claims to be owned by someone else than on PyPy. So there are a lot of troubles like that. So it's not easy.
Have you thought of, instead of a migration of the content, making the product owners responsible for that migration? So, for example, going forward, this is our specification, and people who want to maintain the old way just don't give them any ability to update. I mean, it's kind of a hard choice, but
I think the idea is to not lose plon.org products. We can't ask everyone that has stuff there to redo it, essentially.
I'm not saying redo it. I'm just saying that going forward, if they want to update their product on plon.org, they have to go through the new system. The old system, you just, I guess, write in something that prevents them from doing updates. So that way, that's the legacy system, which is there for those people who need it, and then you have a new system, and that might just make your migration attempts a lot quicker and easier. It's more of a social dynamic issue rather than a code issue.
Well, it's done. So. Yeah, I mean, we are in the details now, but it's basically done. We had trouble, for instance, to migrate archetype on plon.org because the ZIO transaction buffer, you can't define where it's located, the temporary file. So it just busted the temp part, the temp partition. And so we had to hack ZIO to make sure we wouldn't pop up with some I/O error. So it was a nightmare. But hey, we can try it. It's running right now. new.plon.org. Thanks to Alex's work and to all the work that has been done there. So don't go there, but. Yes?
One question about this. I mean, you said right at the start that plon.org/products is dead, and a few show of hands as to who is actually updating them.
Right.
However, then thinking about like in the talk about the panel discussion about contributing to the community,
Right.
the things you were saying is how do we find all this stuff that's in the collective if nobody actually describes it or anything like that?
Right.
Have we almost created ourselves a different problem now by in doing this, it's now really easy to put stuff up to plon.org without having to spend any effort in maybe actually describing it or putting documentation on there. I mean, if I'm looking at stuff in the collective, I'm looking at stuff on G-Shop, I'm looking on plon.org. If I look on plon.org and something looks like it's well maintained and people have put effort into the documentation and releases, etc., then that gives me a bit of a warm, fuzzy feeling that there's actually something going on with that, right or wrong.
Right.
Have we almost like now, if we keystrokes I can stick stuff off on plone.org/products. Do we lose almost that that sort of extra sanity check there?
I don't think so, because supporting the PyPy protocol is a good thing, and it's just like when you look at PyPy and you don't see all the stuff that you want to see, you'll be able to see that on plone.org. So people can take that same, time to and effort and care with their products and releases and make it look nice. And all we're doing is facilitating that process. It's
Right.
incredibly easy to do that. It's just basically impossible to. When I first started, releasing products on Plone. No, I'm sorry. When I first started releasing products on plone.org products, I enjoyed actually doing all the, drop-down menus and stuff for about, a little while, and then no longer. So I'm sure everyone has had that feeling. Does that work? I can't hear myself.
Yeah, and people will be able to add to add I'm not so small. I can do like that. To add extra meta you have the rating system on plone.org that rocks. You can put stars on the package, say okay it sucks, okay it rocks. You don't have that on PyPy, so we will be able to provide a Plone community PyPy-like service. You know what I mean? So, and it's pretty cool because we'll be able to comment the package and to do a lot of stuff we would like to have at PyPy, but that will not be at PyPy before a while. So.
To follow up on what the last man said, let's say I'm of, at best, average skill, but I write a product that I think is useful to me, I think it works, I'm not sure how good it is. Should I just take a chance and put it up on PyPy, or do I risk, would you advise anyone who's doing work that's useful to them and might maybe be useful to someone else to put it up on PyPy and let the public decide, or should people only put things up there if they're pretty sure it's going to be useful to everyone?
I think a lot of package in PyPy. I mean, yeah, go ahead, push them at PyPy. I mean, some people read the RSS feed of PyPy to see the new package coming up, and you might receive a mail about someone saying, "Okay, you just pushed that to PyPy. It sounds interesting. Can we talk about it?" and stuff like that. So I mean, it's open source, and early publishing is better, I think, than trying to package something for years and come out and go ahead and publish it, even if the code is not finished. That's my opinion. Okay, let's try. Let's try new.plone.org. So here I'm in a project in the Plone Software Center, and we have this new fields where you can say, okay, this project owns the cool.stuff dist utils ID, and that will help PSC to locate where the package belong. So I've added a new section, plone.org, in my PyPy RC file, so I'll be able to push it as a new target. Okay, here we go. I push it. Okay. All right, so I have it now in new.plone.org. So I push it on my private PyPy. I push it on new.plone.org. Maybe I won't push it on Cheese Shop, I don't know. But the idea is that you can use these tools to work with plone.org like that. So here's the big picture. You are a developer, you have several targets, and depending on what your package target is, you might want to push it to both plone.org and python.org, or maybe just to your company private cheese shop. Oh, here we go. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you think it from a developer point of view, it's great. I mean, you don't have to click everywhere to publish your work. You can do it as a one-liner. It's pretty cool. You can release your package everywhere at PyPy and Plone. You can be a spammer. I mean, that's my team, 3 developers. They are just happy about that. Okay. Okay, that was part 1, working with packages. Do you have any more questions about? All right. You can tell setup tools to look at plone.org or to look at somewhere else. That's at higher level. For example, if do you use ZC Buildout? All right. In ZC Buildout, you are able to point PyPy, and you will be able to point plone.org the same way. So basically, it will reach the package wherever it's located. Right. It's like right now in setup tools, we have the index that it scans PyPy and it gets all the package over there. And you can add other sources with find links. And I've submitted a patch where you will be able to provide several indexes. So the idea is that you might want to switch the index if one index is down and stuff like that. But basically, today you are able to do that.
Means that potentially you can have different versions at different destinations, and then which one you pick up depends on the order of those lines in your build-out.
Well, setup tools given and ZC Buildout, given your configuration, will list all what is reachable and try to find the first one. So it's sequential. So you don't have a preference. Yeah, right. But we might improve on that. I think it would be wise to improve that. But we are heading to this peer-to-peer conditions. Any more questions on part 1?
I think the easy way is, the first thing to do is just to have a little bot that goes out and checks, looks for the stuff that's there and notices that there are versions that are not in sync. That's
right. Yeah, right. And like I said at the beginning of the talk, if at some point we have some mirroring protocol, you can use to say, okay, I'm a mirror, I'm a certified mirror, and please PyPy, tell me when a new package comes, and ping me so I can get it. So that would be more sane, I think. Okay, so we have seen 4 points. You should make a mirror. You should run your own PyPy. You should push your package to several servers. And you should use mregister and mupload commands, because that's the new register and upload command you will have in Python 2.6. Okay, part 2, working with ZC Buildout. Okay, so, oh, okay, let's take a break.
Do you guys want to take a break, or do you, this goes till what, about 3:15? Show of hands who wants to take a break versus people. Show of hands for break.
Clinton talked this morning. He already gave a lot of stuff to work with ZC Buildout. So I won't go into great details in this section. I will just give you a few reminders and why ZC Buildout was created in the first place. Okay. So 5 hours in 2006, that's the time you needed back then to set up a complex Zope installation. Okay, so you had to install your Python extra package. You had to get Zope, to install Zope, to create an instance, to get extra product, to read the extra product README file, to install extra product dependency, to install extra products. It doesn't work. You had to install Python in lab. You check out products in development. It doesn't work, right? It was the wrong version of Python LDAP, and so on and so on and so on. I remember when we went to some ZOP 3 sprint back then in 2004, Stefan Richter could take half a day to make sure everyone was set up to work and sprint on what we had to sprint on. It was incredibly hard because I mean, some people out there, they just don't write documentation, so you don't know what's up with the dependency and how everything works. Okay. So basically, in 2006, you didn't wonder why developers were not productive, because they were not developer anymore. They were administrator. So now we have ZC build out, and it takes 5 minutes to do the same stuff. 5 minutes because you just grab the build out. We say le build out in French. You call the Python bootstrap.py stuff. You call the bin build out stuff, and just work. That's pretty cool. That's a two-liner. It's amazing. I mean, the people, for example, for the Get Paid project under Plone, which is a Plone with extra product and a lot of stuff around, he's able. The guy are able to promote this project to people by saying, "Okay, run the build out." And people can try it out. I'm pretty sure half of the people back would never try a project based on Plone if we didn't have build out. So you can try it out in the simple ways. But that was not the main reason of the creation of ZC build out. The main reason is that back then we have a big O package for the entire ZOP code. So it was one namespace with all the code inside. And the problem with that approach is that if you change something in a small part of ZOP, you have to wait until the next release of ZOP to get it. So basically what Jim Fulton and people around did, they eggified ZOP in smaller package, because setup tools will let you use the same namespace in several packages. So now you have over 100 packages to run your ZOP. And you don't want to do it by hand. You don't want to install 100 package. So that's the point. That's why ZC build out was created in the first place. And well, we are Plone, so Plone is the same problem. So Plone is getting eggified the same way. And your killer Plone application has to follow the same path. So basically, if you write your package, you use your particular namespace, and you deploy your Plone application the same way. So you have your distribution, and that contains a lot of package, and that's why ZC build out is handy, and that's why it was created in the first place. The problem with that approach is if you run it in Python, you are just going to pollute your Python installation. I mean, if you install Plone right now in Python, you get over 100 packages installed in your sat package folder. I mean, that's okay, but when you go to the next ZOP version and you have a conflict with the latest ZOP interface because another program uses ZOP interface but not the same version, everything is broken. You increase the conflicts probabilities in your Python environment. So this is totally wrong. It's not working. So ZC build out brings you a way to isolate you from the main Python environment. So you can pack it as a source distribution outside the system, and this is something OS packager hate. I mean, when you come up to a Debian guy and you tell him how it works, he just hates you because it brings a lot of problems for him. I mean, for example, if you have a package in the main Python in Debian that is broken for some security reason and you have to upgrade this package, I mean, if you have build-outs all over the place, you're screwed. You need to go all over the places to correct and to patch this package. That's why they hate it. And that's why we need to improve in that part of the process. But this is imperfect, but still it works. And for us, for our Plone application, it's okay to work with like that. Sorry, fellow packagers, we won't work with the Python main side package. It sucks, we know, but Python is not mature enough to handle that. So let's work with ZC build-out. Okay, ZC build-out best practices. You have seen all those practices this morning with Clayton. And this is a synthesis of the 3 main points you have to know about ZC build-out. So if I miss something, please, Clinton, correct me. Okay, the first point is you want to use the same layout for all your projects, which means that if you use ZC build-out for all your projects, in your Subversion or in your Git or whatever repository, you have to lay out all your projects the same way. The second point is to make sure all developers have the same environment and are able to work with all those tools. And the third one is that you want to use one CFG file. In ZC build-out, you can have several configuration files. One CFG file per target. One for your development needs, one for the production needs, and one for the, I don't know, integration needs or whatever. So same layout for all projects. This is what we do in IngenieWeb. For all projects, we have a docs folder, a build-out folder, a packages folder, and a release folder. And it's all the time built like that. So basically, we can write on the top of this structure tools, spiders that look in our Subversion repository to grab a doc for a given project, etc. So it's a RESTful way of defining your project in your repository. So you should do that. We have written a small package that is called collective.releaser that tries to give you some shortcut to do it. So the first thing that it does, it provides you a paste script template to generate this layout for your project. Okay, so here's a small demo. So I have a folder with all my projects, and I use the releaser project template provided by collective.releaser. I tell him the name of the project and the project Subversion root, and that's it. Let's create another project. Okay, so when a new developer come in the company, he start a new project, he will be able to use this template. And this template basically create a build-out, an empty build-out, docs folder, a packages folder, a releases folder, and a bundle folder. This tool makes a lot of assumption. It's SVN oriented, but we're working on it to make it work whatever system you use, Git or Mercurial, whatever. But the idea is here. The second point you want to make sure is that all developers have the same environment. I tried to push through the window the guy in our company that use Windows, but he's bigger than me, and it didn't work out. So I have to work with him. And we have all those customers under Windows, and I go there and I tell them that they should use the Linux to run their Plone website, and they laugh at me. And I'm trying to explain them that it's better for some ways, but they just laugh at me. And well, I understand why they laugh at me for some reason, but well, we have to work with Windows, and we can do it. And if you have people that work with Windows, just make sure they have the same environment to work than what we naturally have with Linux and Mac. So I've written a small tool that is called Python 2.4.4 -win32.zip. That's the name of the project. I couldn't find any other name. So just Google for it. And it's basically it's a batch file, and it installs everything on your Windows sandbox. So it will work like if you were under Linux, because it will install GCC, it will install MSys, it will install dist-utils configuration file to make sure every time you want to compile a setup tools package, it will call GCC. So people in my company that use Windows, they just double-click on this batch file, and they have the same environment we do under Linux, exactly the same. And I can write documentation for developers that is the same, no matter if they are under Windows or under Linux, because I don't want to maintain two documentation. It's horrible. So if you work under Windows, grab that package. It's really useful. Okay. 1 CFG per target. Okay, you have to split in ZC build-out your configuration in several files. You have to have a buildout.cfg root file, and you extend it in two files. For example, devs.cfg for developer, and prod.cfg when you want to do releases. This is how you do, Clinton? All right, yes. All right. Okay, so the main idea is that you don't want to do the same thing when you are working in ZC build-out than when you are deploying it. And bootstrap.py is just a small this, and that's the tool you want to use if you want to make sure you don't mess with the Python installation. I would say something like that. Jan is here if you want to ask further question about virtualenv. So, virtualenv. Okay, so 3 points. Use the same layout for all projects. I mean, we have our company recipes, and I'm pretty sure you can come up with those recipes in each company. Yes? Right? You have an option. It's -C, so you can point the one you want to run, and by default it's buildout.cfg. Yeah.
What happened is so easy to with the upper arrow to get the previous commands in the Linux shell, so you can easily hit the wrong config, then it starts.
Yeah, you just do Control C.
Yeah. Then because I happened to run the dev and then the production and then the
It's screwed up. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know how to get back the old stuff, and you have to.
Well, you just rerun it, but then you use capital N small o, and then it won't download anything, and it goes really, really fast. So like 30 seconds later, you're back where you started.
Okay.
-N.
Yeah, your slides are online, Clinton?
Yeah, but what we typically do is in our buildout.cfg, we automatically extend another config.
Right.
So in the buildout.cfg, by default, it would be like develop.cfg and profile/develop. And when we go to prod, we just switch it over to use prod.cfg. So you don't have to physically invoke the -C.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
already there.
Right. Okay. You gotta get in touch with that guy behind you. He's the build-out guru. Yes? Can you speak loud? Sorry. if you have the right process, we will see that in further slides. If you have the right process, you don't want to use recipe subversion in your build out. It doesn't make any sense to use it. You don't want to use it because you have other ways to use it. Okay. 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 Last part. Okay. Okay. So application lifecycle. Okay. So this is how we work with Plone development. So basically, you create an initial Plone 3 build out. You add your develop package, you code, you test, you add your develop package, you code, you test, you add your develop package, you code, you test, you code, you test, you code, more test. And then you want to release those packages. After they are released, you freeze the versions in your prod.cfg. Maybe you have created an extra CFG to take care of those versions. You release the build out. You build this build out on the target system. So if your customer is under Windows, you want to run it under Windows. You don't want to run it under Linux. After it's built, you set the offline mode off. Maybe other few options, but that's the main idea. And then you create an archive. Why? Because when you have the offline mode on, your archive can be installed without any network. That's the point. That's pretty convenient. So basically, that's how we work with ZC Build Out. Yes. No, it's in ZC Build Out. So basically, the offline mode won't look for updates or won't look outside. If you have everything populated in your eggs folder and your download folder cache. Minus what? Yeah.
So you mean build on target? You mean build on target platform? Not
Yeah, target platform. No, target platform to make sure it builds, because otherwise you have some surprise. We had that guy he built it on his Linux and gave it to the client, and the client was on 64-bit Linux, and he got in trouble with some package and stuff. So it's a source distribution, but you still have to take care of that. Okay, so releasing package, releasing the build out. Releasing package. For each package, you want to do this process. You want to raise the version. You want to edit the change.txt file. You want to create a branch if you work with SVN, or clone your repository if you work with Mercurial, stuff like that. You go to that branch, you remove the dev tag, which is in setup.cfg if you work with Zopscale, because Zopscales use setup.cfg to put the dev tag on it. In Zop3 they don't do that. They manually put a dev prefix in the version of the package. You release it with mregister, sdis, mupload, r somewhere. You release it to somewhere else if you want to release it on Plone, on etc. And you do that for all your package. So it's still a lot of work. So with collective.releaser, we have created an extension which is called release that will allow you to automate everything. So you don't have anything else to do. So basically, it defines the target in your PyPy RC file with two new commands called release command and release packages. For every PyPy-like server, I tell here what is the sequence of command I want to run to make my release, and I list all the package that should be released on this server. And I use a glob style pattern matching system. So basically here, what I'm saying is that I want to send all the package under the IW namespace to PyPy, and all the package to plone.org with the Plone namespace and the collective namespace. Okay, so this helps us to release our packages to the right targets without any extra work. So here is a small demo. So I'm adding a few options in my PyPy-RC file. And I'm specifying for each PyPy-like server what is the command I want to run to build the package, and what package should go to which PyPy server. Yeah, you have multiple lines, and you use either regular expression, either glob style. At first we had a regular expression, but developers don't know how to write regular expression, so so we came up with glob style patterns, which is simpler and more effective. Right, yeah. Okay. Sorry?
Those first steps you had in your original one, you were updating the version.
Right.
So does this do all that as well?
Yeah, when you call release, it does everything. It does the tags, it does the change.txt editing, but it makes a lot of assumption. We use Subversion, we use this kind of change.txt file, and what we want to do is to make the tool evolve, so it won't do everything, but it will do some things with questions. And in the demo, you will see that it asks questions. So here we go. It asks you if you want to run the test, and it asks you if you want to tag it. And right now, I say, no, I don't want to tag it and change the branches and stuff. I just want to use the seconds to build it, and I just want to push it to PyPy and plon.org. So basically, it's separated depending on how you answer to the questions. But it should improve. Okay, it's 5 minutes.
But if you adhere to the standard branches trunk tags layout, it would also even create the branches?
Right, it does that.
Because it assumes you use SVN.
Right, it makes a lot of assumption, but yeah, right. I mean, some people are using it straightforward like that because they work with Subversion, and Plon is Subversion oriented. But eventually, we will make it agnostic for that and make it work with any kind of stuff, make it more pluggable and configurable. But that's the idea, that you want to drive everything in your PyPy-RC file, because as a developer, you don't want to care where your package are going to be shipped. It's a lot of fuss. Everyone is working with their homemade script to automate it. Let's have a package that takes care of that, and let's push this protocol and this stuff in Python itself. That's where I want to go. Okay, so yeah, it's okay, so 5 minutes, so I'll go quicker. So release the build out. You should freeze your versions, the recipe mainly, the package you have released, and all the exception package. I mean, maybe you want to go with this particular plon.portlet dot something because they corrected something in it. So, okay. We have seen that you could use your private PyPy with build-out. If you want to do that, and if you want to secure it, you have to have an authentication mechanism, and you can use lovely.buildout HTTP extension to do that. So basically, you tell ZCBuildout that you use this extension, and you create in your home.buildout folder a new file called .httpauth, and you put there the password, the name and the password for each server you are using. So this way, ZCBuildout will authenticate with them without having to pop any prompt or something like that. Okay, so we have this layer, and we have this release folder. So you want to freeze, you want to tag your build out by creating a release/0.1, a tag for your build out. So you can do it with regular commands, or you can use project_release, which is in collective releaser. That will do the work for you. After you build your release distribution, so that's a lot of comments. And collective releaser provides something else. It provides project deploy that does it automatically for you. And when you want to upgrade your application, you have 3 strategies. The first one is to redo a full release. That's the safest way to go, but sometimes you don't want to do that. So there is 2 other ways to do it. It's a diff release, where you can do a diff between 2 releases and provide a package, an archive that contains only the differences, and you can push that to your customers. And the other way to go is to create a package of all eggs you have in your build-out and provide that to your customers. So basically, he pushes all the new eggs in his eggs folder, he upgrades his CFG files, and he just rerun the build-out. So collective sorry, I'm going fast because I'm running out of time. I hope it's still comprehensible. Collective.releaser. So if I resume, it's the releaser project template that will help you structurize your project, and it's 4 comments that are shortcuts for you to make things faster. And with this and the collective.dist tool, you are able to work in a Plone environment really easily. And okay, that's it. Thank you. Do you have any question? Yeah, we have a script that reads all the CFG file and grabs all the eggs, and you can go with a tarball of all those eggs, and you give it to the client, and he just unarchive them inside his installation, and it's okay to have the old one. It's not a problem. So, and he just rerun the build out like that. Yes. Okay, so this is source release. I tried it before we started with collective release. This is source release. Some part of collective releaser could be removed to use this is source release, but collective releaser covers more things. But yeah, right. This is source release basically automates the build of the build out and creates an archive. So basically. Right. 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 Yes. Yeah, we need to improve on that. I told Jim we needed to merge the 2 tools eventually, maybe. Yeah, I see it as a call to bin build out with the right options, right? Or it does more. Yeah. Right. Well, if you run your build out, all your dependencies, if you have the download cache located inside your build out, are there, right? All right. Well, you have to do it at you have to do it at some point to grab all the dependencies.
Well, I have a global X directory. I'm checking all these 3 packages.
Yeah.
300 packages checked out, and I'm checking all the same X.
Right, and when you do the release, it just grabs them and put them in the archive. All right. The global cache, right? Yeah. You don't have to rebuild it to get them with the download cache option. You override, right? Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? All right. Thank you. Well, by the way, I work for Alterway, and here is the website, and this is my blog on the top of it, and you can look at in PyPy all the package to get more info and stuff. So enjoy the rest of the Plon conference, and see you at the sprint. I mean, there are a lot of cool sprints, some Zobscale stuff, some teaming stuff, some setup tool stuff, so make it there.